I'm going to start a topic that is emerging water crisis challenges ahead. It's as we all know that this is a very important topic, and we have discussed in the previous session also that how we can have sustainable technology so that we can deal with the emerging water crisis. In this session, I will start with giving you a glimpse of what is water crisis and how we have through our various interventions, how we can manage this water crisis, which is a grave challenge in front of us. I will start with if just about 2018. I think you might have read in the newspaper or you might have seen in the television that internationally, if we talk about the Cape Town was the first city in the African country which were facing the ground zero day. But you might have read in the newspaper that Cape Town, within was due to drought condition, the Cape Town was the first city which has planned to shut down all its water supply. It has decided to open the water ration. Each and every individual has to stand in the queue to get their daily amount of ration. That was the zero water day. And to tell you that other countries were not behind. If we talk about the Mexico, California, Barcelona, Bangalore, and many other cities were facing the danger of facing the ground zero day or zero water day. In 2018, if you have read the NITI Aayog report in 2019, India was also facing the severe water stress. And it was reported that in 2030, there are 21 cities of the India which may face the water crisis. And Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi was one among them. That was a condition when there was drought condition, severe drought. But in 2008, 1920, we have seen that the water condition is not that bad. When we talk about the water, let's talk about water. How much is the water availability? Whenever we talk about the water, there is two sides of it. One is demand side and one is supply side. So total amount of water which is present all over the earth is constant. We all know around 326 million trillion gallon of water is available, whether it is in the form of ice or evapotranspiration. It is in the earth itself. So this amount of water is in the earth. When we talk about the water, well, it is, we know that most of the amount of water is in the ocean, which is sea water, ocean water, marine water, or which we always say that is not of our use. Remaining 3% of water, we know only 1% of water is available for us. The remaining 20 water is in polar ice cap, 20% is around in groundwater. So only minimum amount of water that is available, 1% water, it is in rivers, ponds, pools, or fresh water, which we call. When we talk about the condition of water availability, always we say about the per capita water availability. So when we see the per capita water availability, it is less because the population is growing continuously. We know that in 2050, it may reach to 10 billion. So it is to feed the continuous growing population, we need the water which is constant. But this is the condition of water crisis. When we talk about the water availability, again, there is water availability is or distribution of water is not constant. We see that there are certain countries, for example, Middle East, these countries, they are having very less per capita availability of water. Talking about the Canada is having the maximum availability of water. It is almost 10,000 times more than the East countries. So when we see the distribution of water, it is unequal. The source of water, which we see the rainwater, the distribution of rainwater is also unequal. There are semi-arid region, arid region, somewhere the rainwater is very high, 400 mm or so or higher, and there are regions where there is very low rainfall. So this is also the distribution of this water very unequal. So when we talk about the per capita consumption of water, we cannot take it a measure Because the distribution is different, because the availability is different, because the use is different. Talking about the civilization, when we talk about the civilization, we know that all the civilization, they are basically centered around the river. When we talk about the water, the primary source of our water is river. If you see the civilization, most of the civilization is around 10-kilometer riverbank, near the riverbank. So water is available. But now the population has increased so much. That time we were not talking about the water management, but because of increase in population, now what we are doing is this river water has become the dumping ground. We are distributing, we are releasing our sewage into that, we are releasing our industrial pollution, industrial effluent into that, we are all type of garbage, all type of waste, everything we are becoming the dumping ground. When the population was less, then also it was not of our concern, because the BOD, whenever there is measured the BOD is okay. But with the increasing pollution load, the BOD of these river water, which is continuously flowing water, we have seen that BOD is increasing. If you remember, 2018 Central Pollution Control Board has released a report in India, where there are, it has talked about the major river basin, and it was found that because of large amount of pollution load, the renewable capability of this water, river water, which is continuously flowing. We know that water is flowing. So because of this oxygen, the pollution load is reduced. But the pollution load has increased so much that in 2018, CPCB has reported that many of the river is having a BOD level of higher than 5 to 10, which is very higher, because the water, stagnant water is, we can say that these are having not a rejuvenation capacity, but this river water, because of their flow, they should have a BOD very less. This is not the case of major river. I'm not talking about the Ganga, Kaveri, Krishna, and other major river. This was the case of small rivers also, small as well as Raj river. So now, because the pollution is increasing, the water is what you say, water availability is constant. Now we have to think about how to face this challenge. So the first thing which comes is that, which I think we'll be discussing in this session. All these things we will be discussing one by one. The first thing which comes into my mind is that how we can use the available water. So recently, I was just attending this India Water Impact and report, this conference globally. Their NITI Aayog chairperson was talking about all these things. So this was very interesting thing. And the thing which were discussed, and which really I was also thinking that the how in each and every area the condition of water is different. When we talk about the local level, global level, national level, or any other level, the starting point can be the rejuvenation of the water body. In India, we are talking about the rejuvenation of water body first. In each and every state, there are number of local water bodies, whether you call them nala, whether you call them small river, lake, pond, whatever the water harvesting structure, the rejuvenation of those water body through rainwater. We know that in most of the country, when we talk about the groundwater level, India ranked 120th as among the 122 countries. So groundwater level, everywhere we are talking about that groundwater level is going down. It's almost zero level. So rejuvenation of the water body naturally. The rainwater harvesting structure can be made in most of the places, whether it is in school, whether it is administrative building, whether it is any other building where we can make the rainwater harvesting structure. Water literacy or water awareness is one of the things where one has to focus more how to how to approach the sustainable water management. Then there are natural based solution, then water efficiency, so on and so forth. So we will be discussing all these things about in the next slide. So I will, whatever the inputs I mean, we all can discuss. Everyone, like last time also, we all have our own experiences. So, because it's a very huge topic, there are many local methods. There are many individual efforts for water rejuvenation, use of wastewater treatment. Use of wastewater is also one of the thing which is coming up in a large scale. Like the water which is sewage water. We talk about the centralized wastewater treatment, CTP. Always we talk about the CTP. Now decentralized wastewater treatment. घर का पानी घर में, खेत का पानी खेत में, and industry ka pani industry mein. What I mean to say that wherever the water is, that water can be reused, recycled again in that portion itself. Like there are many sewage treatment plant. Now they are centralized water treatment plant. They are being treated and the water is discharged into the water. But when we talk about a decentralized water treatment plant, that in each colony, in each area, there may be a decentralized water treatment plant. The water can be reused, recycled, and again it can be saved. So wastewater treatment is reuse of wastewater, recycle of wastewater is also one of the things which is coming up. So coming about the availability of the water in our planet, we all know that 97% of the water is in ocean and only 3% of the water which is available for us. Out of these 3% of the water, 29% of the water is underground water and 70% water is in the polar ice cap and glacial, which is not for our use. So remaining only 1% of the water which is available, which is in the river, which is lake or freshwater, it is available for use. So you can imagine how less percent of the water is available for us for use. Then if we talk about the types of water, okay, this is the 1% of the water which was available, fresh water we say, and rivers and lake. Then there are 3 types of water: blue water, gray water, and green water. So what is this water? Again, the green water. What is that green water? Green water is the water which is around the plant for after transpiration. It is come from the soil after rain. So this green water, soil is the large, very large again reservoir of the water. This green water is after transpiration, is in and around the plant, but it is not available for our use. So this is also one of the water which cannot be available or which is not available for us use. Then blue water. Blue water is the water that we know that our planet is known as blue planet. This blue water is the water which is available for our use. It is in the river, it is in the pond, or it is in the lake. The water which we use for irrigation, for drinking, for industrial, for so many purposes, this water we use. Then gray water. Gray water, or if it is more contaminated, it is also called black water. So gray water is the water which we cannot use because of its pollution, because of its pollution level. There are number of industries which are discharging this kind of water. There are number of we can say that the sewage water, the water which is contaminated with feces. These water is the gray water. So gray water is also the water which is not available for us use. So now when we talk, we know that the water is limited. We know that only blue water is available for us. So now the technology, or now the policy, or now the infrastructure, the government is focusing on the use of how we can make available the use of this gray water or green water, because blue water we are already using and blue water we are using discriminately without thinking that this water is always available to us for our use, but this is not the case. Now, coming few slides, I just wanted to give you a glimpse of the world water crisis. When we are talking about the water crisis, we all know that the water crisis is there. We know that there are millions of people who are not having access to safe drinking water. We know there are millions of people who are not having access to the water. They have to walk many kilometers to fetch the water. There are people who are living in the condition which is not safe. The water is totally contaminated. They are facing several health related issues. That is the reason that we know that sustainable development goal, when we talk about, they are also focusing on the fresh availability of sanitation, hygiene, and fresh water to the people. So just to give you a glimpse that according to WHO UNICEF 2019, 1 in 3 people or 2.2 billion people around the earth lack safe drinking water. Over half of the global population, or 4.2 billion people, lack safe sanitation, means the water is so contaminated that it is maybe untreated water, sewage water, or any kind of water which is leading to the severe health crisis. Then almost half of the school in the world do not have hand washing facility with soap and water available to the student. 207 million people spend over 30 minutes per round trip to collect water from the improved source. Globally, at least 2 billion people use a drinking water source that is contaminated with feces. Some 2,97,000 children, more than 800 every day, under 5, who die annually from diarrhea disease due to poor sanitation, poor hygiene, or unsafe of drinking water. Then children, UNICEF 2019, children younger than age 5 in countries experiencing protracted conflicts are 20 times more likely to die from cause linked to unsafe water and sanitation than from direct violence. 1 million deaths each year are associated with unclean birth, infection. It accounts for 26% of the neonatal death and 11% of the maternal mortality. This is the case of underdeveloped country or poor country. 2 out of 5 people or 3 billion people around the world lack basic hand washing facility at home. Loss of productivity to water and sanitation related disease cost many countries up to 5% of GDP. And universal access to safe drinking water and adequate sanitation and hygiene would reduce the global disease burden by 10%. So here, the focus is on the availability of fresh water or availability of uncontaminated water, clean water, to how many people are having access to this. This is again this according to United Nations World Water Development Report, which is published in 2019, which the title is Leaving No One Behind. It again talk about the water withdrawal and water consumption. We know that whenever we talk about the water management, the efficiency, water efficiency is very important. In India also, when we talk about water efficiency, we are talking about the crop. Most of the water is used for agriculture crops, and we are not using water efficiently in those crop cultivation. Paddy cultivation uses maximum amount of water. People where they are the people are growing the agriculture crop or paddy where there is very less water. The reason being is that because they see the profitability. Despite that efficiency, if we can reduce the amount of water used in paddy crops, the water that available to other areas also. So here, this is not only the case of India, this is the case of worldwide, global. If you see that all over the world, the agriculture, withdrawal of water is maximum in the agriculture, then municipal, industries, power generation, or primary energy production. So maximum amount world over the water is used for agriculture production. This is the level of water stress all over the world. If you see that you can see that Middle East, Middle East Africa, they are having severe water crisis. And if you see India, Beijing, and other countries, they are having the water stress, physical water stress from 25% to 70%. There are very few countries where there is no water stress. So most of the worldwide, if you see that, they are having the water stress. This is from, again, the same data we all know. This is only the reinforcing the fact that according to the United Nations University, that 70% of the death is because of natural disaster. $50 billion are worldwide. It is being lost because of flood, water-related disaster. Climate change is exacerbating it. We know we'll be discussing about the factors which are causing this kind of water stress. So these are again few facts which are we can skip. Then talking about the water scarcity. Now there are many things when we talk about the water stress. Water scarcity. Water stress, where the amount of water available is less. The water scarcity is a condition when the water demand exceeds than the available water supply. So water scarcity comes when there is more demand and the water supply is less. When we talk about the water scarcity, there are many dimensions of water scarcity. First, the physical lack of water availability. There is no water. Available water is less. The second type of water scarcity is when there is infrastructure development is lacking. When there are the lack of the water is available, but there are the lack of infrastructure development to control storage, distribution, and access. And the third is institutional capacity to provide the necessary water services. 2 years back, whenever we talk about the infrastructure, we talk about the larger dam, big dam. But now when the government is focusing on small water structure wherever it is possible to store the water, whether it is small lake, small pond, whether nala, and all those factors, which is locally, whatever the name is. So these things, if there is unavailability of water, when there is unavailability of the or lack of infrastructure or lack of institutional capacity, that is known as water scarcity. There are two dimensions of water scarcity: physical water scarcity and economic water scarcity. Physical water scarcity, as we know, that it is inadequate availability of water or natural water resources to supply the demand of the people. And economic water scarcity is poor management of the sufficient available water resources. Water is there, but the government lack or there is no infrastructure availability or institutional availability for managing this available water resources. So water security, what are the reasons that we are facing this water crisis? So first of all, we always say that population and economic growth. These two things, we know that we are living in an era. Every time we say that we are living in an era which was very different from the era which was 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago, which is geologically known as Holocene, where all the civilization, development of civilization took place. The era was different, but now we are entering into a new era that is known as Anthropocene, because the driver of this all development change or evolutionary change is human being. Human being is forcing all the changes into the environment, into the evolution. So population which is increasing, to increasing this population, we need all the facility, whether it is, we have to provide them proper living place, habitat. So the development of new cities taking place, urbanization is continuously is increasing. People are going for urbanization. Then there are new technological development, economic. We are looking for the economic growth, economic development without considering its impact on environment. So these are the major reason of the first and foremost reason for water scarcity. Human population, urbanization, and we can say technological innovation, and resulting the waste which is generated, resulting the demand of water supply is increasing continuously to provide them food security, to give them proper facility and everything. Then there are lack of water resources and appropriate supply infrastructure. When we talk about India, India is as far as water availability was concerned, the India was having very good water supply. The rivers, if you see, many rivers, most of the civilization is reside these river basin, the livelihood that is provided by this river. So what is the thing that slowly and slowly we are having the appropriate supply infrastructure to manage this available water resources. But now, as we will discuss that the government, when we talk about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, the phase 1 was on solid waste management. Now the government is focusing on water management. There are number of policies, programs are coming up in a very big way to provide the proper infrastructure to supply this water to each and everyone. Jal Shakti Ministry, you might have this new water policy is going to come up. Then there is a um, Har Ghar Mein Jal, I think Har Ghar 24 hours water supply. So it's a very ambitious plan, but 24 hours water supply and many other things are coming up as far as infrastructure is concerned. Then unsustainable, inefficient, and wasteful water use. This is one of the very important aspects when we talk about the demand and supply. So each and every individual or every stakeholder has to manage this water efficiently. We unsustainable and inefficient use of water, we are wasting the water. That is one of the factor which is leading to the water stress. And now climate change, we know that because of climate change there are the problem is to different type of water resources. United Nations 2020 report, if you see, that is basically the title is climate change and water. Because of climate change there are a number of it is affecting the water cycle, it is affecting the rain. There are a number of what you say events which are leading to the affecting the water supply. Then water, we have to move from water scarcity to water security. So again, as I'm saying, demand side and supply side. When we talk about water security, we need to increase how important is water, our livelihood, our despite our how much required daily water requirement, our livelihood, most of the people's livelihood dependent on the water, whether it is industrial, agriculture, or any other sector. The water is most important. So if there is water scarcity, if there is no people are not having access to the water, definitely GDP will be reduced. So it will result that there will be a, when we talk about the demand supply gap, there will be a imbalance between this demand supply gap and climate change. We all know it exacerbating this effect because of erratic rainfall, shrinking glaciers, and so on and so forth. We know that it is a flood, cyclone, and other things, other events are making it more worse. So what are the reasons? These are the reason. Inefficient use of water for agriculture. As I've told, 79% of the water is being used in agriculture in India, and we are not using this water efficiently. There are many crops like which require high demand, which are having high demand of water, and the crops are grown in that region where there is the water table is very low. So in this area, we can work on efficiency of water, then reduction in traditional water recharging areas. In every city, in every state, there are number of water body. Those water body, either they are having in a good condition, but or they are dried, or they are source of discharging the various type of waste, or they are in a they are not in a position where they can provide the drinking water or good water. So these recharging water bodies need to be rejuvenated, need to be revived. And in India especially, the water, not only in India, in many countries, even if you say United Nations, there also few years back, the entire sewage was discharged into the water body. So without considering the impact on this water body, the sewage is being discharged. Now, as the population is increased, the water is getting contaminated and the water bodies are unable to revive them. That is leading to the cause of various type of problem, diarrhea, death, and so on and so forth. It is causing different diseases, environmental health problem, and so on and so forth. Beside that, now we are also releasing different type of chemicals into this water. We know that whether it is pesticide, fertilizer, toxic chemical, various type of industries, they are releasing the water. That we all know about the biomagnification process, how it is reason. We all are well aware of the fact, DDT case. Then there are number of neurotoxic compound, carcinogens compounds. So these are all without treating, without removing from the water, they are discharging to the water body. That is again causing different type of water pollution. There are number of water body which are having, which are silted, which are dry. So desilting operation, there is lack of desilting operations where large water body that can enhance water storage capacity during monsoon. Beside that, there may be many reasons. I have quoted only few. There is efficient lack of efficient water management practices or distribution of water between urban consumer, agriculture sector, industry. So there are many factors which are causing the water scarcity. So what can be the suggested solution? There can be many, but in my opinion, as far as India is concerned, few may be realignment of cropping patterns. We know that in India, there is so much farmer crisis is going on, but realignment of cropping pattern can be one of the thing where we can manage the water. But again, we have to provide the farmer the solution. Why farmers are going for paddy crops? Why farmers are growing for maize crops? Why many area people are going for coffee? Because these are the cash crops. These are the crops where they are getting many benefits. They are having the profitability. So before thinking about, we need to provide a solution to the farmer. We need to provide, when we talk about Indian is agrarian country, our food security, nutritional security, everything is dependent on the agriculture. So we need to provide them the irrigation infrastructure, which will be water efficient, where water can be reused as much as water is required. That only can be provided, or the facility, the infrastructure where the water wastage can be reduce. Then conjunctive water management. Water management is very important. Again, when talking about the agriculture, we need to have a climate resistant agriculture. The agriculture which is resistant to climate. The variety which are resistant to climate. So we need to have, and again then policy reform. We will talk about that. Then when we talk about the role of science and technology in solving the water crisis or solving the water scarcity, then as I've told you, the available water is limited. There are where the focus is now on the reducing the or increasing the water efficiency. One thing, whatever the blue water is available, the how we can increase the efficiency of the water. The second is how to use the gray water and green water. Coming to the gray water, there are a number of technology by which this gray water or wastewater can be reused, recycled, and can be used effectively with the help of various type of technology. There are a number of technology which are coming up, whether it is membrane technology, desalination technology. Last time also we have talked about how to enhance the water storage, small scale decentralized technology, rainwater harvesting, micro irrigation technology, and self-resistant and frost-resistant crop, and managing water for agriculture and environmental purposes. Each and every technology, I'm not going into detail, but each and every technology has certain advantages and certain disadvantages. The role of science of technology is to increase the efficiency so that the disadvantages can be reduced. Again, I'm talking about, because last time also we were talking about desalination technology. Yes, many industries are coming for desalination technology. Tamil Nadu is one of the first state to coming now. Maharashtra is also going for desalination technology. But again, as we have discussed, the cost is high, the byproduct which are produced like brine, how to dispose it. Then the energy is consumption is also very high. So the technology can be used in some places and it cannot be used in some places. For there are other type of technology, membrane technology. There are a number of method, whether we talk about the water treatment, whether large trickling filters, sludge filters, aerobic tank, or many other membrane technology method by where water can be, wastewater can be treated and can be reused and recycled. And decentralized technology, and wherever is crop is concerned, we can have the self-resistant and drought-resistant crop varieties. Improve climate modeling. Then as I've told, all the stakeholder has to work together. If we talk about the role of government, then there should be institution, they should play an essential role, coordinating role, how the water, basic water and sanitation services can be provided to each and everyone. It should coordinate the collective effort required to invest in infrastructure, harness the potential of water for economic development, and talking about food, energy, and urban development. So in a nutshell, I'll say that government has a role to coordinate how the safe drinking water can be provided to everyone. For that, they have to provide the infrastructure, basic water facility, and sanitation services to each and everyone. As far as water management is concerned, we need the sustainable water management practices, water management infrastructure, where the contamination to water can be reduced, water pollution can be reduced. We need to have policies which focus on the wastage of water. We need to have scientific and technological advances where the water can be reused, recycled, and where we can have the methods or policy where we can reduce the water footprint. These are a few of the technologies. I will skip this. I just wanted to give you a few of the case studies which NITI Aayog has given, where the water can be conserved or where water can be rejuvenated or reused. So this is one of the example, or it is in the NITI Aayog, that there is a scheme. There are many schemes in Rajasthan, in Maharashtra, in Gujarat, and even in Uttaranchal also. Now the Kosi development project, if you see in Times or the 2020 Kosi river project in Almora district has got the best prize. Like that in Munsiari or other areas, Maharashtra has got the prize. So these are few of the case studies. In Niru Chetu program in Andhra Pradesh, this Andhra Pradesh government has launched a Niru Chetu program. Niru is water. If you know Andhra, in this Telugu, Niru is water. Niru Chetu program. It's a part of its mission to make Andhra Pradesh a drought-proof state and reduce the economic inequality through better water conservation and management practices. This program basically has emphasis on improving irrigation, and it focus on ensuring water supply in drought-prone area. And the major areas to cut the gap between demand and supply. So they have repaired around 7,000 farm pond and over 22,000 check dams under the program. Additionally, there are 102 fit irrigation schemes have been commissioned to revive by the state. So by this, around 210,000 acres of the land of the state can be irrigated. Andhra, which is a drought-prone state, and major, we know that it is a paddy growing area. By the rejuvenation of this water body, the irrigation can be provided to the 2 lakh acres of the land. Then this is the case study of groundwater recharge. This is a Maharashtra government scheme. You can see that this known as Gal Mukt Dharan, Gal Yukt Shivar Yojana. And it is an innovative drought-proofing program by the state Soil Water Conservation Department. It works on the groundwater recharge issue. We know that siltation is one of the issue. Whenever we talk about the water, or dumping of waste is one of the issue, drying of the lake. So many things are there. So this scheme basically focus on the desilting of the groundwater recharge issue of the many water bodies. There is desiltation. So the program involved desilting of the water body by farmers using excavation machine and allowing free use of the removed silt by farmer on their land to improve soil fertility. Desilting of the water body restored the water storage capacity and improved the percolation of potential of groundwater recharge. So this removed silt will, if it is applied in the farmer field, it will help in the fertility, increase the soil fertility, organic content will be increased, agriculture crop will be more productive, and then it a way that it is beneficial to both. So these are the scheme for the rejuvenation of the water body in Maharashtra. Likewise, there are many government schemes. We know that Manrega is there. We know that there are many policies are there which are focusing on this kind of recharge. Jal Shakti Ministry, which is again the ministry which is formed by the Water Resource Ministry and Ganga River Rejuvenation, Water and Sanitation. Now there is Jal Shakti Ministry. There are number of program policies are coming up. There is Namami Gange program. We know that is because of this Namami Gange. The name is Namami Gange, but basically they are focusing on many rivers of the countries which are coming up, and the ministry is focusing on how the water can be recharged, it can be clean. And we know many reports you might have read about how this, because of this project, there are a number of patches in Ganga where earlier the report was that in Ganga there is river dolphin has not been found. Now there are many cases where the dolphin had been seen. We have seen that the water is cleaned. Sewage treatment plants, many of the sewage treatment plant has been constructed. So in a way that there are many policies, many schemes government is bringing, but as an individual, every stakeholder has a duty, has, I can say that everyone has to work together for this water management. So water crisis, as we all know, is there. We are facing the water scarcity. The reason may be multiple reasons: population, economic growth, climate change, excess of water use, food security, so on and so forth. But as the water is limited, we need to have uh, we need to have measures so that whatever the available water is there, that can be used efficiently, that can be used in a manner that the water which is available to us is, as we talk about the sustainable development goal 6, it should be for everyone. Clean water, sanitation condition, and the distribution of water should be there. It should be for everyone to use the water judiciously. That is what I have taken few of the references. Basically, this United Nations World Water Development Report 2019, Leaving No One Behind, and WHO UNICEF report, the NITI Aayog 2019, United Nations University, that Institute for the Environment and Health, and SDG 6 Synthesis Report 2018 on water and sanitation. Thank you.
So before we start for, discussion.